Hello, my favorite hammer broke. This is just the small hammer that you sometimes see me use, and I think I stressed it out too much because this is only supposed to be for light duty works and driving in pins. So today I'm going to be building a new handle for it. First, I'll just break the head off. So to get it out, since this is a really cheap hammer, it's not really wedged in properly. It's just easy to get just a drill bit. I don't have other drill bits, so I'm using this countersink bit, but I'm not going to countersink it. And after that, I'm just going to get a nail set, and there's just one random wedge shaped nail inside, so it's really easy to remove it. There are specific types of wood that you usually use for hammer handles like hickory, but I don't have any of those, so I'm going to try to use the hardwood that I always use. And this is just a type of mystery hardwood. I don't really know what it is, but it's really dense and I always use it for hardwood projects. I'm going to rip this, so first I'm going to get my curving plane and plane a curve in there so that my frame saw can easily track in there. You don't need a frame saw for ripping, a normal hand saw will do, but I just like to use it. To mark out the tenon, I'm just going to take my hammerhead there and then I'm gonna use my pencil to mark the line. Next, I'm going to make some stop cuts for the tenon so I can safely carve the tenons out. Without these stop cuts, if you use the chisel and if you try to carve out the tenon, then the whole piece will just split. Next, after making sure that I've put stop cuts on all four corners, I'm going to get my chisel and I'm going to carefully carve out the tenon. When making these tenons, always remember that you can always remove material but you can't add them back. Next, once the hammerhead just starts to fit in, I'm going to bang it down with another hammer and you will see a burnished spot and it will leave a mark, and wherever that mark is left, you need to still continue carving out material. But remember, we need to get a tight friction fit or else your hammerhead will be pretty loose. After cutting out the tenon and getting a pretty tight fit, we're going to bevel down there so that over time, the hammerhead will just sit on tighter into the handle instead of getting loose. Next, I'm going to go shaping the handle. And for shaping, just go by feel, remove the corners, round over edges, and you'll feel what's comfortable. As long as it's comfortable for you, it will be good. After that, I'll just saw a slit for the wedge to fit in. Next, I'm going to put my hammerhead into the handle. And first, I just put it in and then I start hitting the bottom because hitting the bottom makes the hammerhead go up and the hammerhead will rest tight into that tenon. After that, I've just cut a wedge here and I put some glue in it. And then I'm going to hammer that wedge in. Whether your hammerhead is tight in there or loose in there, you'll need to add a wedge for extra security. And to be honest, mine was pretty loose actually. And I needed to hammer the wedge in really hard. And it actually broke at one point, so I needed to skew the wedge and make sure that the remaining wedge gets hammered in. Next, I take a coping saw and flush cut the wedge. I also flush cut the remaining handle. This is optional, but I just want it to be flush with the hammerhead. But this is your choice. Next, I'm gonna put a lock wedge. It's usually made out of metal, but here I just split the wood. And then I'm gonna put the lock wedge, which is actually crossways to the mallet. And I'm just going to hammer that in and flush cut it too. I primarily use this hammer anyways just for putting edging on plywood and adjusting planes. So, Let's try that out if I could still do what I do before. This is just a sample piece. I'm not really gonna use this for anything. And I would put glue there, but it's fine. Let's add a third nail. And usually I would put glue and I would also set them. Oh yeah, let's test it with a nail set. I just have a nail set right here. Oops! And then that. Like that. Like that. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have stayed until here the end, then thank you so much. And I hope you can like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. That would be it for today, guys. Bye!